that, we want to wish happy birthday to our birthday people. And on March the 12th is Joan Broda. Joan, are you here? Here she is down there. And on the 14th, Shirley Mace. Shirley, she's probably watching us on TV. Yeah. And also on the 14th is Michiko Otaya. Is Michiko here? All right. And on March the 18th is Kinu Nagado. We're so glad that they could be with us, join us. Our performer this evening specializes in close-up magic. He was voted Best Close-Up Magician at the Magic Castle in Hollywood by the Academy of Magical Arts 2 years in a row. He is the only magician to have received both the International Brotherhood of Magicians Gold Cups Award of Excellence and the Society of American Magicians Gold Medal Award of Honor. Have you ever introduced somebody that had that much in a row? It's 3 lines of typing. Yeah, but we came to find out he can still do that. At the Triennial International Federation of Magic Societies Convention, magicians from 47 countries around the world witnessed for the first time in the history of magic the Grand Prix, magic's highest honor, being awarded to a close-up magician. And it's this magician. I'm curious, are there any magicians in our congregation tonight? Other than our speakers back there waving at me. Anybody else? Somebody up here on the front row is not listening to what I'm saying.
I took lessons. Didn't become one.
He did it for the children at church. Yeah, he really did. Well, how many magicians does it take to do the magic? Just one will do the trick. Yes. So please welcome a close-up magic of world champion magicians.
Introduce our chef.
Thank you. That's why I married you. Helen, come up here. We've got a new resident. After he listens to me, he decided he needs to live someplace else. Come up and introduce him.
Good evening. I'm not the magician, that's for sure. Yes, it's wonderful to see a full house. Okay, so tonight I wanted to introduce to you Raymond Nakato, and he is a new resident, and he lives on in 216L. Is that L?
Right.
Yeah. So that's one of the tribes over away, and so Ray moved in about a month and a half ago. Ray was born in Hawaii, and he was born into a family with 4 boys and 4 girls. How would you like that? He came to the United States after his high school. He served in the U.S. Air Force for 4 years. He told me a while ago that it was time for the young boys to get into the service, and he thought if he stayed in Hawaii, he'd go in the Army. if he came over here, he could choose the Air Force. So he came to, is that right? That's right. Okay, he got his education in LACC, and he worked in aviation electronics. Now you'll have to ask him what that all means, but aviation electronics. Ray married late in life. He has no children, and he lost his wife to cancer. He's lived in Monterey Park. That's where his house is. So he knows the area. Lived in Monterey Park for 40 years. And he hasn't sold his house, but he's fixing it up for a relative. So today he and his sister are the only ones left of that large family. And she lives in Hawaii. But he has cousins and nieces and nephews here and lots of friends. Now, Ray says he's an outdoors person, and he loves to do repairs. And if you don't find him here, he's over in Monterey working on the house. So he does repairs and odd jobs and gardening, and he's enjoying being here. Anything you want to say, Ray?
That's correct.
So let's welcome Ray. He says, glad to be here. Okay.
Are you ready, Johnny? Calm down.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That concludes my show. Good night. Actually, I haven't even started yet. Before I officially start, I'd like to thank Martha Beyer for that great introduction. Thank you very much. Just like I wrote it. But you did it really well. And I'd like to welcome Ray. It's nice to meet you, Ray. I'm glad you're here, and thank you for your service. That's very important. Before I officially start the show, I'd like you to know the magic I do is performed entirely by sleight of hand and illusion. In fact, anything I do tonight can be done by a 4-year-old child with 20 years of practice. And for that reason, I invite you to watch closely, for something may appear right in front of your eyes, like a cane or flowers, or it just might disappear. You never know, so please watch very closely. I'll now officially start my show. My first feat of magic is called the opener. That's a pretty good name for the first trick, isn't it? Opener. If you watch, you can see the opener. If you listen, you can hear it. Do you hear the click? That's my opener. See? An opener. But what good is an opener without something to open? Thank you. It's a classic. Speaking of classics, I would now like to do a true classic in magic where a magician pulls a real live bunny rabbit out of a hat. Would you like to see that? Yeah. How about the rest of you? Would you like to see that? I can't do this one by myself. I wonder if there's anyone in the audience that loves animals that might like to come up and help me with the rabbit out of the hat trick. Do I have any volunteers?
Harold.
Carol?
Harold.
Harold? Are you Harold? Well, you can't volunteer somebody else. That's not volunteering. But if you volunteer someone else, usually that someone else comes up and brings you with them. So how about a nice hand for Harold and the lovely young lady that encouraged him to come up. Come right on up. May I have one of you on each side of me, please? Thank you. And you must be Harold. You're good. Thank you. It's nice to meet you, Harold. And what's your name? Helen. This is Helen, everybody. How about a nice hand for Helen and Harold? With the help of Helen and Harold, I will now pull a real live bunny rabbit out of a hat. A spin, a wave, and a snap, and she's in there. Now the hard part. She's gone. Thank you, both of you. You see, it takes a good magician to make a rabbit appear in a hat. But to make it appear and disappear, that's a whole nother level. This time, with the help of Helen and Harold, I will show you the bunny. I heard that in a movie one time. I think that's what they said. Show me the bunny. Show me the bunny. Is that right? All right. Harold, will you wave your hand over the hat, please? Helen, will you do the same? Please snap. Look at that. It's just a little hair. Like the tortoise. Let's check the table. I don't see anything under the table, do you? Let's try the hat one more time. Will you all wave toward the hat and snap, please? We did it. Look. We did it. A real live bunny rabbit out of a hat. I knew we could do it. Isn't she cute? Feel how soft she is. She's a good little bunny. She lives with me and my family in Huntington Beach. That makes her a beach bunny. Helen, Harold, you make better one more time and then you may go back to your seats. Thank you for helping. How about a nice hand for Helen and Harold? Her name is Snowball the Bunny Rabbit. My daughter's named her Snowball because she looks like a snowball. And she'll stay in the hat for the rest of the show because I say stay in the hat. And it works most of the time. She's a good bunny. You stay in the hat. And after the show, if you want to pet her, she likes to be scratched behind the ears like this. She's a good little bunny. She's a beach bunny, like I said. All right. Stay in the hat. Now it's time for an illusion with the colors of the rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. For my friends that speak Spanish, rojo, naranja, amarillo, verde, azul, and purple. I missed that day in class. 6 magic scarves, 2 magic hands, and a little magic wave. And all 6 scarves become one. That's a trick from the 1960s. I have to say 1960s now because we're in the 20s, aren't we? I performed in a show at Disneyland where we were in the 1800s. I wore a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. And I asked the director, is it okay to say that trick's from the 60s? And he said, sure, the 1860s. I guess they had tie-dye then too, didn't they? Well, now it's time to make the show a little more interesting again. This is where I invite 2 people from the back 2 sections to come up and help me with the trick and see some magic up close. May I have one volunteer from this area and one from this area, please? Come on up. May I have someone from this side too, please? That's good music for this trick. Tell them to get up off of that thing.
Carol, the other Carol.
Say hi to Snowball. Hello. She's a good buddy. skin is? Towels. Isn't that right? That's a true story, isn't it? May I have one of you on each side of me, please? Thank you for coming up. My name's Johnny, and what's your name? Carol. This is Carol, everybody. Everybody know you? And what's your name? This is Trudy, everybody. Trudy and Carol, this is everybody. I have 3 magic scarves this time, not 6, but 3. The primary colors, blue, red, and yellow. The primary colors. I'll tie a magic knot in the blue scarf, and when Carol waves her hand over the knot will disappear. See, she's magic too. I do. Will you please hold the blue scarf? Thank you. Here's the yellow one. I'll get a pretend invisible string from my pocket, and I'll wrap it around the yellow scarf. A pretend invisible string. Uh-oh. You're supposed to say what? When I say uh-oh, you say what? Okay. Uh-oh. What? I forgot my pretend invisible string. Does anybody have a pretend invisible string I can borrow? Oh, you do? Oh, Bertha does. May I? Oh, that's a good one. Let's see if it works. I think it'll work. What do you think, Judy? Let's try it. That works pretty well, doesn't it? That's a good invisible string. Is it okay if I keep it for later? Hey, I'll give it back. You hold the yellow one, please, Trudy. Thank you. Here's the red one. Now, the reason I invited these 2 lovely young ladies up here is not just to make my act look better, and I think it does, but it's also so that they can see the red scarf up close, from the side, perhaps even from behind. Keep in mind, I've pushed up my sleeves. That's so you don't think I'm doing anything tricky, even though I am. So please keep one eye on this hand and one eye on the red silk scarf. Keep one eye on this hand too. If you don't have 3 eyes, I'll go slow. You can see the red scarf right now. You can see the red scarf until the last minute. But then it's too late, for the red scarf has disappeared. I'll show you where it is. It's in the blue one, believe it or not. Inside of the blue one, right in the middle, right in here. Thank you. Have the yellow one. Thank you. I placed the yellow one into the blue one. Looks like a pretty flowers for all the lovely ladies in the audience. Now watch the yellow one, just like the red one. The yellow one disappears. Of course, we know where it is, don't we? Since the red one came out of the blue one, may I please have the red one? I'll reach right down inside of the red one, right in the middle, and I'll pull out the yellow. Oops, I missed. Trudy, will you take the yellow one out, please? See, she's magic too. How about a nice hand for these 2 lovely ladies? We'll go back to their seats. Thank you for coming up, Carol. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. A new friend from New York called me yesterday. I thought he said his name was Amazing Mansour, but his name was Mason. It sounded like a Mason to me when he called me up. But thank you for the amazing compliment. Now it's time for an after-dinner trick featuring dental floss. Dental floss comes in a container on a roll. Sometimes, when you get to the end of a roll, there's a small piece left, right? And it's difficult to floss your teeth, the piece that small. I would suggest saving that piece when you get to the end of another roll, and there's a small piece left. Save that too. You see where I'm going with this, don't you, Daryl? Every time you get to the end of a roll and there's a small piece left. Save it. And when you get enough, bring them to me. Because I do magic, and I found if you take waxed pieces of dental floss and squeeze them together, they stick. See how they stick? If you roll them between your fingers, they do what I call the Play-Doh principle. They bond themselves to themselves. You know, like Play-Doh. That's Play-Doh the clay, not Plato, the philosopher. If you fold it over and roll it, eventually you get a little skinny white ball. And if you place it next to one piece and squeeze them together, sometimes they too stick. And if you know magic and pull, it comes out to one piece. There you go, Bertha. You got your string back. That's what happens when you play a country song backwards. You get your dog back, you get your truck back, and you get your string back. All right. Now it's time for an old trick. This trick is so old. How old is it? I'm glad you asked that. We could have been here all night. Now that you all know what to ask, I'll start this trick again. This trick is so old. How old is it? Funny you should ask. This trick is so old. When this trick was invented, the 10 Commandments were the 10 suggestions. That's all. That's a Baptist joke, isn't it? This is a trick with dinosaur dental floss. It's actually a long, strong piece of rope. And it's green because St. Patty's Day is right around the corner. It's on Sunday this year, isn't it? I will tie a knot in this rope like this. When I tie a knot in the rope and snap, the ends come off. I better save them for later in case I need them. Doesn't that look real? Yeah. It's a trick, but it looks real. Here's how I put the ends back on. Just like that. Thank you. Thank you for that applause. She's a good audience. Here's how you do another trick. My favorite rope trick is uh-oh.
What?
You're all supposed to say what? Remember when I say uh-oh? What? You say what? All right. I forgot my pretend scissors. Does anyone have pretend scissors? Bertha, do you have pretend? Can you go like this? She's got pretend scissors. Look. We cut the rope right here on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good job. Now, don't you run with those pretend scissors, young lady. Now we have 2 ropes exactly the same size, only this one's a little shorter than this one. So I'll start over with a long, strong piece of rope. I'll show you how the ends can travel. The ends can travel from here to here. That's the first one. That's a funny looking piece of rope, isn't it? Here's the second one. We're back to the beginning with the long, strong piece of rope, which is examinable. That means you can look at it if you'd like to. This one's not quite as long, but it's just as strong. And I can tie a knot in this rope with one hand. Faster than you can say, it's a beautiful night. Ooh, I beat you, didn't I? Maybe it was a tie. Not. This one's examinable too. You can check that rope out if you'd like. My wife asked me if I was going to tell the joke rope tonight, the joke about the rope, and I said, no, I'll skip it. Now this one isn't quite as long, but it's just as strong, and it disappears when I squeeze it like this. It doesn't really disappear. It goes behind my knee. That's my trick knee. I I'm a magician. I have a technique, right? It's actually an old football injury. I fell off the bench. It was a high bench, right? It was high. This one's examinable too. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. I mean startle you. I saw you were awake. I just mean to startle you. Who has the long? Do you have the long one? Will you ball it up and just toss it up to me? Just ball it all up like that. Good job. There we go. Now just toss it up to me on the count of. Yeah, that's perfect. On the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good throw. Will you toss that one up to me on the count of 3? I get it. That's the floor show. At least the act is picking up, isn't it? I think I'll just come and get that. 3 different ropes, 3 different sizes that have been examined by fine members of the audience. I place the ends together like this, and then I wave my hand clockwise. I wave it clockwise like this. I realize it's counterclockwise to you. That's a perception issue. Because it's clockwise to me. It is. Please wave your hand the same direction. I know it's counterintuitive, but it's intuitive to me. Please wave your hand the same direction I'm waving mine. That's a trick directive, isn't it? That's right. He's got it. Please snap. Please notice all 3 examined ropes are exactly the same size. How does he do it? Or as my wife says, why does he do it? I'll change him back. Let's all change him back. Please wave your hand the opposite direction. If you wave it this way, wave it that way. If you wave it that way, wave it this way. And please snap backwards. This is a regular snap. This is a backward snap. And there we have it. The small one, the medium one, and of course, the long one. I knew we could do it. Thank you for help. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have some close-up sleight of hand magic I'd love to show you, if I may. I wondered tonight, are there any coin collectors in the audience? My grandfather collected coins out of circulation. He collected the Kennedy half dollars from 1964. It was a special coin because it was the first year they had Kennedy on the half. And it happened to be the last year they were as silver as they could be, 90%. So does anyone share an interest in coins like my grandpa did or like I do? Anybody here tonight, a coin collector? Do you collect coins a little bit?
I collect quarters.
Quarters. My uncle collected the bicentennial quarters from 1976 with the little drummer boy on. And he made a porch. He put a whole porch on his house from just collecting those quarters. Isn't that neat? All right. Would you be kind enough to join me to see the magic of the coins up close? How about some encouragement for my new volunteer? The lighting is so nice here. You can see really well. And say hi to Snowball if you like. She's a good bunny, isn't she? Doesn't she look real?
Yeah.
I mean, she is real. She is real. Yeah, she's real. What's your name?
Beverly.
This is Beverly, everybody. Thank you for joining me, Beverly. I have 4 coins here. I'll count them one at a time in a magical way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, thanks. You think you're impressed? Try that on a Tuesday night. I'll do it again, 2 at a time, and they'll split. 2 at a time, and they'll split twice as fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, just for fun, I will attempt 2 at a time every other one. The reason I invited Beverly up here is not just so she could see it up close, but she could be the eyes of the audience. See how they're every other one, Beverly? They're sort of alternated or staggered, every other one, 2 at a time, and they split. That's not magic, but it's part of magic. It's the manual dexterity part. That's a big part of magic, especially close-up sleight of hand magic. See the coin walk? See it walk? Sometimes it runs. When it gets lazy, it goes like this. That's a lazy way. I do the sound effects myself. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's hard. That's 4. That's proof I have way too much time on my hands. Thank you. That's not magic, but it's part of magic. It's the manual dexterity part. That's a big part of magic, especially close-up magic. When I put them in my pocket, one coin, this coin, goes right through my pocket. If I squeeze that coin disappears. It goes behind my knee. See it back there? If I pull up my sleeves a little more and squeeze the coin again, it still disappears. It still goes to my knee. That's my other trick knee. It's also an old football injury. I got hit with an old football. Beverly, please watch the coin and my knee, especially here. Sometimes it's really hard to keep an eye on the coin or a coin on the eye. These two coins are exactly the same, only this one is different because it wasn't in my eye. Will you hold the coin, please? Please look at it on both sides and on the edge. You'll see it's a real coin. It's silver, isn't it? My grandpa gave it to me. That's what makes it special to me. Thank you for looking at it. Don't make it disappear. I'm a magician here, okay? Please listen to the coin when it hits my watch. Do you hear the ring? That's because it's silver. When it hits my watch, you can hear the ring. If I squeeze it, you can see the ring. Please hold the ring. It's a solid ring. I wasn't sure I should hand that to her. I also have a string. It's a shoestring. It's a strong string and a solid ring. This is my college ring from a long time ago. This is my college budget from a long time ago. The shoestring goes through the ring like this. Beverly, with your right hand, will you hold the ends, please? With your left hand, will you go like this? Watch the magic happen. It comes right off. That's a fast one. This one's even faster. Watch the ring jump from here to here and back really fast. Here to here and back. Want to see it again? I'll slow it down a little. Jump back. But the fastest one is when I squeeze it, it goes right back onto my finger. Thank you for helping me. Nice hand for Beverly. My favorite type of magic is close-up sleight of hand magic, where the audience is within arm's reach of the magic. The best type of close-up sleight of hand magic is card magic. I have a significant library of magic books at my house. It covers several bookcases. At the Magic Castle, I have access to their magic library too. Their card section on card tricks is 3 times bigger than my entire library of magic. I've learned a lot of card tricks over the years. When I was a baby, my grandpa used to hide a coin from me, either in his curly hair or in his pocket or behind his ear. And I'd sit in his lap and he'd say, "Where go?" And I'd try to find it. My family says that's what got me interested in magic. But when I was 4 years old, my dad taught me a card trick. It was a 4-ace card trick. It was a simple card trick, but it was deceptive. And it fooled adults. And there's nothing like being a 4-year-old showing somebody a trick and having them going, "Oh my goodness, how did you do that?" I told him if he taught me to bake a cake, I might have become a baker. I like to bake. I'm going to make banana bread either tonight or tomorrow. We got some old bananas sitting on the tree. But I really like to do card tricks. And I wonder if there are any card players in the audience that might like to see a card trick up close. Anybody in the audience that plays cards knows the difference between the club and the spade. Those are the cards. These are my summer cards. Some are red, some are black. So So, who's a card player in the audience that might like to come up? Any volunteers? Helen, they're doing your trick again, volunteering somebody else. Who's a card player, Chan? Or Daryl Chan? You can both come up if you'd like. You can both come up if you'd like. You want to bring Helen with you? Thank you. Thank you for joining me. My name is Johnny, and what's your name? Keenu. Thank you, Keenu. Thank you for joining me. This is a brand new deck of playing cards. Have you opened many brand new decks? Would you like to open these?
There's a place that you open. Okay.
Pull it all the way around. That's it. Good job. Do you know how to break the seal, or do you want me to break it? I'll show you how I break it. I break it the way Ricky Jay was one of my favorite magicians. He had a show called Ricky Jay and his 52 assistants. Oh. Do you know who his 52 assistants were? That's right. That's right. Push it with the thumb right here, like this, and right here. And then it just breaks the seal. Isn't that nice? Now, there are always some advertising cards or instructional cards that come. There are 2 extra cards. We don't need those. And there are usually a couple jokers. We certainly don't need those. Daryl and Hilda both told me there'd be a lot of jokers here tonight. We don't need the jokers. Now, a new deck order goes ace through king, right? It goes ace through king, and then it goes ace through king again. Now in the middle, in a new deck, it reverses. It goes king through ace and king through ace. I've opened a lot of decks of cards, and it took a long time for me to notice that. I always thought it went ace through king, ace through king, ace through king, ace through king, but it reverses in the middle. Sometimes when I perform at the Magic Castle, I do 3 shows a night in the parlor of prestidigitation, and I open a new deck every show. If you think about that, 7 nights in a row, that's 21 decks of cards in 1 week. But that's not it, because on Saturday, I have the honor and privilege of performing 4 shows during the brunch each day. So that's another 8. 8 and 21 is 29 decks of cards in 1 week. That's a lot of decks of cards. They come in a box that looks like a brick, 12 of them. And that's more than 2 bricks. I love to open a brick of cards, but I usually only open 4 a day. That's usually my max. But on the days that I perform at the castle, it's 7 decks on Saturday and 7 on Sunday. Isn't that a lot? This deck is in the unshuffled order. You may look at them again if you'd like, Keenu. Am I saying your name right? And I would like you to feel free to, you can take your time looking at them. Take your time. I get paid by the hour. You can cut them, you can shuffle them, you can mix them all you want. Just don't disturb the order of the cards. I'm just kidding. Mix them all you want. It's a real deck. It's a brand new deck. She is a card player, I can tell. See how she handles it? Yeah? All right, thank you. If it's all right with you, I'll give him a little shuffle. Oh, please check him out. Check him out. He's a good little buddy. Name's Snowball. So soft. It's a lion head. That's one word, lion head. Yeah. When oh yeah, it's a bunny. When I looked it up, and Wikipedia, I saw a picture of a bunny and it looked exactly like Snowball. Same colorization and everything. It's beautiful. So I'll give the deck well, now it's a little bit mixed. I saw you mix it. I'll give it a riffle shuffle, followed by a bridge. That's a real shuffle. Can you tell? See, that mixes the cards. That really mixes the cards. That's important. I'll give them a cut. This is known as a swing cut. You take part of the cards and you swing some of them over to the side, put the other ones on top. You don't have to use a table then to cut the cards. I used to use a table to do the riffle shuffle all the time. Then I had the opportunity to perform during the cocktail hour at parties, and they didn't have any tables. So I used my knee. One day I went like this. I realized I didn't have to use my knee anymore. My grandma taught me that. The riffle shuffle really mixes the cards.
Yeah.
The bridge, that's just for showing off. Now, how do they look? Do they look pretty well mixed?
Oh, yeah, good.
Good. Would you like to give them at least a cut or mix them just a little more? I'd like to show you my best trilogy of magic with cards. Trilogy is a 3-part. The third part of this trilogy is also a trilogy. Okay, so here we go. Phase 1.
Can I go?
No, ma'am. You can do whatever you want, but I'd love it if you'd stay. I'll run my finger along the edge of the deck like this, about this speed.
Oh,
You
beautiful.
know, somewhere between here and here. Will you please say stop? I don't want to be rude. I'm going to turn my head. I'm not being rude. I just don't want to see the card.
Stop.
Did you see the card?
Yeah.
Oops, I lost my mic there. Pardon me, Mike. All right, you saw the card.
Yeah.
If I were to guess the color of the card that she peeked out in the deck, I'd guess it to be red.
No.
But that's only if I were to guess. I know it's black, I know it's a spade, I know it's a face card. One card's traveled from the deck to this pocket. Will you please name your card out loud?
Jack is good.
There it is. Thank you. I'll leave the jack on the bottom. That's phase 1. Here's phase 2. I'll drop the cards like this, about this speed. Once again, I put the jack on the bottom. That's
Yeah.
all I know about the deck. I'll drop the cards like this, about this speed, and once again, will you please say stop?
Stop.
Notice I stopped right when she said stop. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, Keanu, please look at this card.
Okay.
I know it's not the jack of spades because I left the jack of spades on the bottom. But with 2 real cuts, see, 2 real cuts
Okay.
and a snap, your card comes to the top. But you probably won't believe it. Will you please put your hand like this? She won't believe this. The card that you stopped me on was the 3 of hearts, right?
No.
I told you she wouldn't believe it. But I have a surprise. In my pocket, I have a string. That's not the surprise, because you knew that was there. But please notice, I took it out with 2 fingers. That's called a 2-finger retrieval. 2 fingers go into my pocket. Out comes a card. Do you know what it is?
9 of spades. Is it?
No.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Wasn't this the card I put in your hand?
Yes.
The 9 of spades in your hand. That's magic, isn't it? That's phase 3, but remember I said phase 3 is a trilogy? Well, that was phase 2. Now it's time for the phase 3. We can use the 9 of spades if you'd like, or we can use any card you'd like for phase 3 of the trilogy. What do you prefer?
Okay. Can I think of a card?
Certainly.
Okay. Do I tell you? No.
You can if you want, you don't have to.
6 of spades.
Okay, I know there's a 6 of spades in here because I usually play with the full deck. Did you see it in there?
Yeah.
Was it about 17 down or so?
Yeah.
Something like that. We just take any one out. Go ahead. Any one at all. Show it to everyone. It's the 6 of spades. What a coincidence. This is a permanent marker. We used to say it on here, but it rubbed off. Will you please write your name or your initials or any distinguishing mark on the card? Yes, ma'am. Anywhere you like.
Okay.
Now, when we see this card again, we'll know it's the same card because it has her initials and her writing in permanent marker. That really is a permanent marker. Let's recap. The card was selected. It came out to be the 6 of spades. It has your initials on it. I'll place it slowly and fairly into the center of the deck. Please push it all the way into the deck. This is phase 1 of the 3rd part. When I snap, it goes to the top. Please turn it over, show everyone. It's the 6 with the initials. Thank you. I'll do it again, twice as slow. Twice as slow. Phase 2 of the trilogy, the third part of the trilogy. The 6 of spades with your initials. Watch how slow. Watch how fair. Will you open your hand, please? Will you close your hand around the cards, please? When I snap, would you like the 6 of spades with your initials on it to go to the top, the bottom, or my pocket? It's up to you.
Top.
It's on the top. This top. If you said bottom, it would have looked like this. If you would have said pocket, it would have looked like that. Now it will disappear. Now I'm just showing off, huh? Now it'll disappear. But before it disappears, this is the final piece of this effect.
Yeah.
Do you see your initials in your writing?
Okay.
Do you believe it's the only card like it in the world, 100%?
No.
That's what I would say. So I'll tear the corner part way off. Can you tear it the rest of the way off?
Okay.
Now, when you see this card again, you'll know it's the same card, right? Because you have part of it. Now you see it. Now you don't. Do you see what's in my shoe? It's a folded up card in my shoe. Folded up. See it? Could it be the 6 of spades with the initials and the missing corner? It is. How about a nice hand for Kino? That was fun. That's a souvenir, by the way. That was not sleight of hand, you know. That was sleight of foot, right? All right, now you keep that and you show that to your friends, Kino, okay? And thank you again for coming up and helping me with that trick. I am blessed with 2 beautiful daughters, and the trick I'm about to show you makes them laugh, and that's my favorite sound of life. And I hope you enjoy this trick as much as they do. It uses 3 little round red spongy balls, and I call this the illusion of the 3 little round red spongy balls. I named it myself. It was one of my more creative moments. I need to step into my office over here. This is my office. I'd like to thank Hilda for renting me that office space. I'd like to show you my trick. This is an illusion of the 3 little round red spongy balls, and the illusion of the 3 little round red spongy balls goes something like this. Actually, it goes exactly like this. Here's 1 and here's 2. I'll put this one in my pocket. That's a little fast. I'll start again. Here's 1 and here's 2. I'll put this one in my pocket. That was the same speed, wasn't it? Deja vu. Do you know what deja vu is? Do you know what deja vu is? Uh-oh. They're here. Here's 1, instant replay, slow motion. Here's 2. I'll put this one in my pocket. Uh-oh. They're back. I'll tell you what, I'll put this one in this pocket, and I'll put this one in this pocket too. Wait, didn't I just put that one in there? What if I put it Uh-oh. Look what's on my shoe. put this one in my pocket. Thank you. Guess how many are here? That's right. They all disappeared. Not but not before I show you my best trick. This is one of my biggest fans right here. My best trick involves 3 metal cups. 3 metal cups, 3 yellow balls, and 3 lovely ladies from the audience. May I have 3 volunteers, please? How about some encouragement for 3 lovely ladies? Please. Come right on up. Good job. Say hi to Snowball if you'd like. She's a good little bunny. She's very polite. She doesn't bite unless you ask nicely. My name's Johnny Ace Palmer, and what's your name? Hi, Cos. Thank you for joining me. And what's your name? June. This is June, everybody. And what's your name? Joy, June, and Cos. Thank you so much for joining me. Will each of you please pick up a cup and look inside? Make sure it's empty. Show everyone it's empty. Tap the bottom, feel inside. It's solid and empty, right? Please set the cup down and pick up a yellow ball. Please hold it in the air like this. It's a pom-pom made out of yarn. My wife made them for me. I helped a little bit. I picked out the color. There's so many shades of yellow. Please put the ball on the table and watch my hands. I'll warm up my fingers. This is how I warm up my fingers. This finger comes off, but it comes back. I never have no fingers. Doesn't that look real? It's a trick. I also use a marker as a magic wand. I call it a magic marker. Actually, I don't need the magic marker. I have a real magic wand. This was given to me by the Academy of Magical Arts at the Magic Castle when I was fortunate enough to win Parlor Magician of the Year for the 2nd time recently. This is the actual wand. It's made out of Brazilian rosewood, African ebony, and it has a real silver band. And the designer is from India, Indianapolis. Will you please turn the cups upside down? Thank you. Will you please put a ball on top of the cup? Thanks again. Please lift the cup and then please set it down and watch closely. Good job. Watch the magic wand and this yellow ball. This yellow ball disappears with the help of the wand. This one disappears just as fast, but I have to tap it twice. This one won't disappear if I tap it once or twice, or even a whole bunch of times. It won't disappear. I have to use a spin and a tap. Then it's gone. Please lift the cups and notice the balls are back under the cups. That's interesting, isn't it? In the magic world, we call this part of the trick interesting sleight of hand magic. We call it that because it's interesting and it's sleight of hand magic. Now it's time for the amazing part. In the southern states, they call this part the amazing part. Lovely young ladies, please cover the ball with the cup. Please lift the cup, look inside again, feel inside, convince everyone the cups are empty except for the balls. Then please cover the ball again. Let's double check. Please lift the cup and set it down. One ball, undoubtedly, under each cup. Let's forget about the magic wand. It's just for distraction anyway. Let's forget about the balls under these 2 cups. As a matter of fact, that's what I mean. I'll put this one and this one in my pocket. So we only have to think about one now, this one. Right, June? Not this one, because I put it in my pocket. Remember? I put it in my pocket like this. I put this one in my pocket too. But I left those 2. Did I say 2? Did I just say 2? I didn't mean to say 2. June, do you see 2 there? Your finger on top. I didn't mean to say 2. I meant to say 3. Will you show us all 3 right there? Go ahead. Look, 3. Look at that. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Here's the best part. I put all 3 in my pocket and they immediately go back to the cups and change into live baby chickens.
No.
On the count of 3, please lift the cups. 1, 2, 3. And baby chickens. You can pick them up if you like. Use 2 hands. How about a nice hand for these 3 cute chicks? And these 2 lovely babies. Aren't they cute? Don't they look real? They are real, aren't they? Okay, here's 1. Here's 2. I'll put this one in my pocket. No, I won't. I'd never do anything like that to those cute, sweet little baby chickens. Come on, you little nuggets. Time to go out. Lunch. Always get to call. Well, before I do my last illusion, I would like to thank Daryl and Hilda for inviting me to be here. Thank you, both of you. Thank you for facilitating my appearance. My last illusion is an illusion with some magic water, better known as Zippo lighter fluid. Do not try this at home. I'm a trained professional. And don't go to your neighbors and try it either. Here's the match I got at the mini mart. Works every time on the second strike. You should see the ones, the big ones. They're huge. Watch the fire and then the candle and then the fire again, okay? Here we go. Anyone wants to come up and say hi to Snowball, now would be a fine time to do that.